Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Utility Lessons Learned with Bill Meehan and myself. We're very glad that you joined us. If you remember last time, we talked about spatial analysis and we promised to talk about a geographic approach. A geographic approach is really conceptualizing how we look at problems, and there are many challenges facing the utility industry today. Let's just take one example, how we move forward in an equitable fashion with the Infrastructure Jobs Act and the funding and all the work that's going to come from that. And as we look at how to solve those problems, I noticed, Bill, you noticed that many of the things we care about are interrelated spatially, and to be able to look at those in a geographic way makes a lot of sense. Bill, could you react to that?
Absolutely. You know, as engineers, and both Pat and I are engineers, and engineers love to look at schematics. I mean, I don't know why. We just do, right? So when we have a big, these things called SCADA, right? The system control and SCADA, system control and data acquisition system. Remember SCADA? Well, it's a big board with a bunch of schematics and lights and wires, and then we'd have one line diagrams and everything else. So we love to look at schematics, and sometimes we can really miss the geographic, the location part of where things are. And I'll give you a quick example. When I was working for the power company, I got the call that no one ever wants. A substation, a major substation, was on fire. And it's like, holy crap, what's going on here? And it turned out that the cables, it wasn't really the substation, it was the getaway manhole, or the manhole that's right outside the substation. You've seen one of these where all the cables kind of came out and went into the city. They caught on fire. Well, the dispatchers told me these cables weren't overloaded. It was really hot, and it was a really hot day, but they weren't overloaded. I mean, they caught on fire anyway. Well, and guess what? That one place had both the backup and the primary cables. Oh, crap. So we had to do all kinds of stuff. And it took us a while to figure out what was happening. Well, it turned out that a transmission line was installed like several years later, and it went over the duct bank that went out to the manhole. So the additional heat of the transmission line and what was the hot cables caused the cables to overload. But because we're looking at schematics, we weren't looking at things geographically, location-wise. If we had done that, we would have said, oh, wait, we got to make sure we count the transmission line and the distribution cables together. So it really, the geographic approach kind of, it takes that spatial analysis and getting all lots of data and sharing that data with everybody. That really is the geographic approach, putting all of those pieces together. So next time, we're going to talk about not just the geographic approach, but how you take that geographic approach and build it into what we call a geographic or geospatial infrastructure. How do you make all of this stuff work? So we'll see you next time with the utility lessons learned from Pat and Bill. Take care now, folks.